we are looking back. We lament, right? Eicha, right? So it is somewhat of a different, I'm not sure, but could be it's a different shoresh, right? Here the shoresh is ayeh, right? Whereas over there, the shoresh is ech, probably, right? So ayeka is, right, to you, right? As, right? But the even when you have different words that have the same, right? Lechem, milchama, right? Lechem is bread. Milchama, lochem, lacham, right? Same exact letters. So there's what to be learned in all of those cases, right? Most wars are over lechem, right? Sustenance, materialism, right? Right? So there always are the connections. So Moshe himself says, Eicha, right? How can I bear this whole nation by myself? Right? Rashi explains that there's such a responsibility. As a leader, there's such a responsibility to be just, right? King Solomon, Shlomo Melech said the same thing, right? I become a judge over here, right? A judge for these people. If you get it wrong, so God's got to correct it. Right? It's a tremendous, tremendous, tremendous responsibility that even Moshe was going to share the wealth, so to speak, share that responsibility by appointing others. But these are the words that Moshe is instructing us as we are going to be taking leave from him and entering the land of Israel, and he's letting us know, right? Show you pointed that out, that you're going into the land of Israel, but there's no guarantee. And if you're going to remain, as the Kli Yakar said before, Bein HaMitzarim, if you're going to be stuck between these issues, then our entering the land was temporary. Right? We built the temple. The first temple stood for 410 years, and then we were exiled. Right? It was destroyed. 70 years later, we re-entered the land. We rebuilt the temple. 420 years later, it was destroyed. And here we are now in the midst of the 9 days. And there's been tremendous rebuilding in Israel. A friend of mine pointed out, I think he made a valid point. You know, when we say the tefillah of Nachem on Tisha B'Av, we speak about the destruction of Jerusalem. It's desolate, right? Well, in a physical sense, it's not desolate. It's being rebuilt beautifully. In a spiritual sense, there are, more shuls and more Torah learning going on in the world now than there was in pre-war Europe.
In Israel, you mean? Or everywhere?
Everywhere. At the same time, right, it is desolate, right? If we go to the Kotel, and behind the Kotel we see a mosque where the Beit HaMikdash stood, then it's still desolate. And these words that Moshe has said, I think the Or HaChaim says, he said it El Kol Yisroel. That's how we began. Eila Dvarim Asher Divrei Moshe El Kol Yisroel. To all of Israel. All of Israel can mean all of Israel of that generation. All of Israel can mean us too. Right? All of Israel for all generations. Because we're still stuck Bein Paran Uvein Tofel. we're still looking at Tisha B'Av as a fast day. It has not yet become that holiday, that joyous celebration day that it's meant to become. And the two issues that we have are the Meraglim and the Ego. And that is like we have the two luchot, the two tablets. We have Bein Adam L'Makom, between man and God, Bein Adam L'Chavero, and between man and man. Right? Us to God, us to others, those are the foundations. Each one is equally important, but neither one negates the other one. And that's where we are as we sit today, Bein Paran Uvein Tofel, and that is the key, and that is the exit strategy that we have.
So
Right?
you said
To work on reinforcing our Bein Adam L'Makom, our relationship with God, and our relationships with one another.
So what are the concrete steps? I mean, if some people have been righteous all their lives and have been doing that, and they're kind, and I mean, not...
Everyone has room to improve. Right? Everyone is at their point A and needs to make their move to point B. There is no one that can't improve.
This is true.
And that is our mission. Not to look at others and say they should, right? But to look at ourselves and say, I should.
And why do you think, with all this forward momentum, Hashem has still said you're going to still be in this sort of in-between place?
We haven't gotten there yet. We haven't done enough. You know, the Chavetz Chaim points out very beautifully, he compares it to Yovel, that if a person sells a field, he can redeem it back, redeem it back, redeem it back. As the years go by, it takes less and less and less to redeem it back, but then Yovel comes and the field returns to its owner. And Chavetz Chaim compares that to the Galut, the exile that we're in. There's the end point, and as we get closer and closer, there's less and less that we need to come up with, right? The person shouldn't say, if the earlier generations that were far greater than us, if they couldn't come up with it, how can we come up with it? They had a much greater bill than we do, right? But each person can always do more, no matter how righteous every single one of you are, right? And
I mean,
we all have what we can do. Okay, Dov, we'll call it over here. Shikoach, everybody.
thank you, Rabbi.
Next Tuesday we're still on for regular class. The next Tuesdays after that I will not be here. The next Tuesday we're still on.